Throughout the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Gavin Newsom has often talked about his desire to reopen schools. It wasn't until the final days of last year, however, that he introduced a plan to speed up a return to the classroom. Facing the very real possibility of a recall election in the fall, getting children back to class, and stemming growing frustration among parents, has emerged as a top priority for Newsom. Parents want to know when their kids can go back to school safely, said Robin Swanson, a Democratic political consultant, who added that safeguards such as vaccines for teachers and personal protective equipment are important to many parents. If you lose parents, you lose California. Newsom flatly rejects the suggestion that politics have played a role in his pandemic decisions and has not publicly acknowledged the recall effort even as he shifts to campaign-style events in major media markets across the state. But his aides have acknowledged the obvious: Newsom's chances of beating back the effort would be higher if schools are open and Californians are widely vaccinated before a possible election, allowing fatigued voters to resume their daily lives. The timing of Newsom's December 30th announcement of a $2 billion package of incentives to reopen schools, after insisting for weeks that he had provided enough guidance on the matter last summer, was widely interpreted among political observers in Sacramento as a reaction to the recall effort, a possible attempt to appeal to parents as winter break came to a close with no end to distance learning in sight. The governor unveiled his proposal just one day after news that a $500,000 donation had been made to the GOP campaign working toward a recall election this year. Newsom's public image had been battered for weeks after he attended a lobbyist's birthday party at the upscale French Laundry restaurant in Napa Valley despite advising Californians to avoid similar gatherings. With his plan bogged down in the legislature, Newsom announced last week that California would reserve a portion of its weekly vaccine supply for teachers and school staff in an attempt to return educators to campus. Even so, the political pressures have continued to mount. With former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer and 2018 GOP candidate John Cox announcing they would run for governor if the recall qualifies and polls showing a steep decline in Newsom's approval ratings, the governor launched a tour touting his work on vaccines across the state and invited local reporters to tag along, a marked change in media outreach compared with his many internet-only appearances since the start of the pandemic. The events, at which fellow Democrats have joined the governor and lavished praise on his handling of the pandemic, have allowed Newsom to campaign against the recall without having to voice his opposition to it.